Welcome to the Prepped and Polished podcast, the podcast that empowers you to take control of your education, featuring weekly interviews with influencers in the world of education, as well as tutoring tips, lessons, and updates. And now, here's your host, Alexis Avila.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Tutoring Tips episode of the Prepped and Polished podcast. It's Alexis Avila of Prepped and Polished. Please make sure to check out our website, preppedandpolished.com, for more info. And while you're there, sign up for our free tutoring and test preps newsletter. It comes out monthly. You can join our Prepped and Polished community. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram. We have over 200 tutorial videos on YouTube. And you can check out our podcast also on SoundCloud. Just find us by typing Prepped and Polished. You can submit a question during or after the show to radio@preppedandpolished.com. We love hearing from you. Let's get right down to business. This is episode 129, 3 last-minute study tips for the SAT Chem Test. So let's talk about 3 tips for last-minute studying for the SAT Chemistry Test. Tip 1 is take control and make a schedule. Making a schedule is an immediate stress reliever, really, because it puts you back in the driver's seat and it jump-starts your studying. So ask yourself, how many hours at this point can you reasonably devote to studying? Take stock of all that you have coming up, tests, quizzes, extracurricular activities, and make an assessment of when you have times that you can commit to studying. And remember, don't put your GPA in jeopardy. School comes first, but when you figure it out which days you can devote to studying, make a commitment to study during those times, even if it's only for a short period. Tip 2 is study what the SAT Chemistry Test tests the most. Last-minute studying is about getting the most bang for your buck. So if you can, grab a Barron's or Princeton review book and go through it and see what subjects are actually on the test. And if you don't have access to one of these, don't worry. Go to the College Board website and they have a list there too. You don't want to spend precious minutes studying something that isn't even covered. So use your class notes, previous tests and quizzes, and your textbook to cover the subjects tested, beginning with structure of matter. And this includes inter and intramolecular forces, valence electron theory, bonds, and of course your periodic trends. Then move on to states of matter, which includes your gas laws, stoichiometry, which includes moles and balancing equations. And then next, study your reaction types, redox reactions, acid bases, your solubility rules. Then move on to descriptive chemistry, which includes your properties of common atoms. So this list I have for you today is not a complete list, but for a complete list, go to College Board website for that full list of topics covered in each category. And these 5 categories will represent 80% of your study time. So you'll want to look at the other 3 remaining categories and spend time writing down their main points. And this leads us to tip 3. Tip 3 is don't just read, rewrite and redo. So let me explain that. Even though it takes more time, rewriting your notes and redoing problems is more effective than just reading them, which goes in one ear and out the other. So as you're going through your notes and studying, make sure to rewrite all of your formulas, rules, and trends. And this is also going to produce a cheat sheet that you can review for half hour, either the night before or the morning of the test. And redoing problems will also keep them fresh in your mind and help you move quicker on the test. So just remember, short-term or last-minute studying is the time to review the concepts that you already know, not learn totally new things. So you're going to probably encounter subjects in the test that you've never seen before, but the College Board created the list knowing that students will not know all the topics, so therefore you can still miss a few questions and get a perfect score. And remember, you've mastered most of these concepts in your class already. So an organized review will help you get your studying under control and get you prepped to do your best on test day. This wraps up our show today, episode 129, 3 last-minute studying tips for the SAT Chemistry Test. Be on the lookout for our next podcast, episode number 130. It's my interview with the statement gurus, Nived Ravikumar. where we're talking about making college application essays stand out. You're not going to want to miss that one. You're going to get a lot of good quality tips. Remember, to access all of our podcast episodes, go to preppedandpolished.com/podcast. Thanks for joining us on the Prepped and Polished podcast. Now go out there and take control of your education.
You've been listening to the Prepped and Polished podcast. For more information, check out preppedandpolished.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for listening. Class dismissed.